We had what could be the warmest winter on record here in Arizona, and we are paying the price. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and today we're giving you an update on, well, the aftermath of the warmest winter we've ever seen. So now if you guys have been following us along, you know that we have over 200 fruiting trees, vines, and shrubs here on this Sonoran desert farm, and one of the things that we actually count on are some chilly winters. So now one of the things that we look at with fruit trees is we look at chill hours, and all that is the amount of time that you dip below 45 degrees but stay above freezing or so. So down around 30 to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So out here in Whitman, about 5 degrees cooler than the city of Phoenix, Arizona, we typically clock anywhere from 300 to 500 chill hours in any given winter. I don't keep perfect tabs on this, but I estimate about how many chill hours we get based on how cold it gets each evening, and I'm guessing that we got about 50 hours of chill this last winter. So a fraction of what we normally get. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys, not just tell you, show you some of the things that it's affected for us here on our fruit trees that are dependent on those chill hours. We are here in our berry area. This is at the front of the farm. It's what you typically see if you're coming in one of our main entrances here to the farm. These are our Shangri-La mulberries. Behind me, you might be able to get our contorted mulberries back there, and then we have our blackberry beds here. Now, typically this time of year, we're in the 3rd week of April. We're just starting to get a harvest off of our Shangri-La mulberries, and actually right now we're finishing that. So we're about 2 to 3 weeks ahead, actually almost a month ahead on our berry harvest, and it has been impacted. So I'm gonna say we probably have about half of the normal production off of our Shangri-La mulberries, which is our primary crop and our favorite mulberry. This is the one we actually had planned to do a U-pick this year. We had to cancel all of our U-picks because, as you'll see, our production is severely impacted, and this was the first one that was obvious. Now the berries themselves, the quality is still really good, so the berries taste fantastic. Just less of them, and again, a few weeks early here this year. We're at the front of the farm. This is where we have all of our evergreen trees, and one of those evergreen trees are our Loquats. Now you can see behind me here, this is our gold nugget Loquat. We have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different varieties now of Loquats. Now, this time of year in April is when we just start seeing a harvest off of our Champagne Loquat, which is the first Loquat to ripen for us. One of the things you'll notice with, well, all of them, there's no fruit on them. Now, we did get fruit. In fact, they fruited very heavily. The problem is, it was about a month early. And the challenge with that, we were 105 degrees. Things like a Champagne Loquat are designed to be in 80 to 90 degrees, way too hot. All the skin, they were almost unedible. The skin itself was so tough. They were very, very tart and never completely ripened all the way. And all the trees are completely empty of fruit. We had to pull them. Reason being, the Champagne Loquat, you can even kind of still see it, way too hot with a ton of fruit. Bad combination for that tree. We actually started seeing some of the branches and leaves start to wilt in 100+ degrees. And in order to save these trees, we had to completely take all the fruit off of them. So essentially, no harvest off of any of our Loquat trees because it was way too hot, way too early, and the fruit was actually starting to hurt the tree. One of the things that is most severely impacted this year has been our stone fruit. Now, we're here at the front of our western orchard where we have our peach trees. You'll see one of our Florida Prince peach trees behind me here. These trees were probably the most impacted because they are the earliest to set fruit. They set right at the very beginning. It was kind of the middle of January, at the beginning of kind of our real hot period here in February and March. And the trees themselves are really struggling even still. So early fruit set, we had to thin very little. We've done videos on this where we'd have a 2-foot long branch and they would have 70 or 80 fruit on it, and we'd thin it back to 1 or 2 per branch. This year we had maybe 1/3 of that. You'll see we have this one thin like we normally do, 1 to 2 peaches on every branch, and the fruit themselves are tiny. So they're already starting to ripen, which is about 2 to 3 weeks early. The trees themselves still struggling just a little bit because of that early fruit set and the heavy heat on this fruit. Now, we still have fruit on our peach trees, but you gotta take a look at our plums. The tree you see behind me here is our Sweet Treat Pluary. This is a plum cherry hybrid. It's just a great example of all of our plum and plum hybrids, even our apricots, which we'll show you here in just a second. But this tree in particular is normally loaded with hundreds of small fruit at this point. So usually they're a little bit smaller. We don't even bother thinning this nice big tree. It holds the fruit just fine. This year we have 0 fruit on this tree, none. For the first time, we've been growing these for 7 or 8 years now on this farm and the old farm. We always get a lot of fruit on this tree. There is absolutely nothing on here. Now, it flowered nice and heavy like it always does. Unfortunately, it was 100 degrees when it was doing it. None of the flowers actually took. We have absolutely no fruit on this tree. In fact, looking at every single one of our plum and plum hybrids, I'd say we have maybe a dozen pieces of fruit on multiple trees. So the plum harvest, gone this year. So apricots, not much better. Let's show you about the only thing we're gonna see in apricots. We have 3 apricot hybrid trees here. This is our Flavor Delight aprium, our favorite apricot. It's a blend between apricot and plum, but predominantly aprium heritage. And this particular tree has the only apricots we're gonna see this year. There's probably a good 40 or 50 fruit all on this half of the tree. The back half, or the south half has nothing. Our Katy apricot and this one's sister has nothing on them. There are no apricots at all. Now, apricots can be a little bit alternate bearing, meaning some years they're heavy, some years they're light, but we always have at least some fruit. This year, with the exception of these 2 branches, we have nothing. We are here in our vineyard garden. You guys know we have, I think we've got 50 different vines that all surround our garden beds. These are our flame grapes. Now, flame grapes are the most productive grape that we have here, followed closely by our Zinfandel grapes. Now, the flame grapes are extremely productive year to year. However, this year, not as much. Now, you'll see we have some clusters forming here. They look fantastic. There's probably 5 or 6 clusters on this vine. Now, typically, our flame grapes will put on 15 to 30 clusters per vine. So it's a fraction of the normal production that we would have on our flame grapes. So we'll see. Not sure how that's going to turn out as far as production is concerned, but definitely severely impacted. So something maybe we don't think too much about as far as chill hours on grapes, and these definitely needed them and did not get them. Very obvious to see the impact on us here. Well, you can see a lack of chill hours for us here this year has severely impacted us when it comes to our stone and pome fruit. So the trees we typically count on needing those chill hours, definitely seeing a much smaller crop, if at all. Fruit quality is very inferior. We may not have mentioned it, but our Florida Prince peaches are tiny this year. Even with nice thinning, normal 1 to 2 peaches per branch, they're a fraction of the size. We have the Loquat harvest was completely destroyed. It was a month early. The heat completely killed it. We had no fruit set on our plums really at all. Just really rough for us here. And the only difference this year are those lack of chill hours. So we want to hear from you. What have you guys seen, especially if you're here in Arizona or really anywhere else? You know, when you get a really warm winter like this, how does it impact you? You know, some things we're seeing that are not really necessarily affected are jujubes, which kind of makes sense, they wouldn't be. Our garden beds have been fine, so our annual vegetable production seems to be kind of on track like it normally is. We were able to plant a little bit early and that had no issues with frost, but the production themselves seems to be okay. Our figs, the trees themselves look fantastic. Haven't seen the fruit set yet. Doesn't appear to be quite as heavy, but it's still a little bit too early to tell. But what are you guys seeing, especially here in Arizona, here in 2026, coming out of probably the warmest winter on record? So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on this Sonoran desert farm and would love to see you on a regular basis. If you have any questions or comments, those go in the comments section down below, and our Amazon shop, we'll leave a link down in the description for you. If you follow the link below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you.